yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait, 6 o'clock.
Ah, we do.
Make sure I remember that date.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all here this evening. We proceed each council meeting with a word of prayer and pledge of allegiance. If you would like, please feel free to join us. Please bow with me. God, we thank you for your grace, goodness, and mercy.
Amen.
I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now call this meeting to order. Mr. Garrett, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hawkins?
Here.
Mr. Grimes? Here. Mr. Cummins?
Here.
Miss Mel?
Here.
Mr. Ledbetter? Here. Mr. Hawks?
Here.
Mr. Jones? Here. Miss Isby?
Here.
You should have received copies of the October 8th, 2024 City Council minutes. Any corrections, changes, or comments?
Make a motion for approval as submitted. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 8-0. Look at the agenda here. All right, next up, we have the monthly financial report. Month ending September 30th, 2024. Mr. Winningham, give us something good, please.
I'll do my best. Good evening, council. We are looking at the month of September, 3/4 of the way through the year. Our sales tax in September was up 2.7%. We're up just under 4.5%. We're at 4.4 year to date. So we're in good shape there. In the street fund, the main revenue source is our turnback from the state of Arkansas. It's down slightly this year. Mostly due to the severance tax. The severance is not doing as well this year as it did last year. I don't really know the reason behind that other than the severance is tied directly to the natural gas drilling in the state. So my assumption would be they're not drilling as much gas this year. Sanitation fee, or in the sanitation fund, their sanitation fees are their primary revenue source. They're up about 2% this year over last year. We're not really going to see a large amount of growth in that unless we have a fee increase or if we take on a large number of new customers. So I think that's a reasonable number there. In our airport fund, unfortunately, we're down about 17% in the fuel sales, which that's the primary revenue source over last year. And we've talked about that a couple times this month. But you go through and look at all of our balance sheets, all of our operating accounts are all in good positions. They're healthy. So I feel good about where we are. Also in September, we finished up our audit from 2023, and I sent a copy of that all out to everybody on the council, so I hope you received that. I hope you took, a good 3-4 hours and read every word. Yeah, it's only a couple hundred pages. So.
3 or 4, what if I did it to a less?
I would not be surprised, Mr. Jones. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Winningham?
Overall, Mr. Winningham, what would you say our state of financial situation is?
Good.
Good, very good.
Mhm.
Very much, sir.
Yeah.
Council, back to you.
Make a motion for the approval of the September finance. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the monthly financial report ending September 30th, 2024. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 8-0. Thank you, Mr. Winningham. Next up, we have the Public Service Committee. Mr. Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item on this portion of the agenda is waiving the readings, approve of the waiving of the readings for the ordinances for tonight's city council agenda. And I'll make a motion that we waive the 3 readings.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to waive 3 readings for ordinances on the October 22nd, 2024 council agenda. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 8-0. Mr. Hawkins.
Next item, Mr. Mayor, is consideration to approve removal and trade-in of equipment for the Parks and Recreation Department. And Andrew, come in here and tell us what you want to do and what we need to do.
Yeah, good evening, Council, Mayor. So this basically has 2 parts. The first part is we're looking to trade in 2 new mowers for 2 other new mowers that are larger. This will have no impact on any fund. It's coming out of our operational budget. So we're not asking for any money, just the approval to take it off our inventory sheet to add 2 new ones. The second part of that is we are removing some vehicles that will be sent to auction or sold for scrap.
Questions?
Make a motion for the approval of the items to be removed from the inventory and then also along with the trade-in on the 2 mowers. Second.
Have a motion and a second to remove this equipment from the list of property that the city owns and approve the trade-in of the 2 grasshopper mowers. Any further discussion?
Just another point of order, I always like to look at the stuff we're getting rid of, and we do get our money's worth out of this stuff. We're getting rid of a 1992 Ford truck, a 1989 GMC dump truck, another one 2003, 2008, 2009, 2012. So we get our money's worth out of these things when we buy them.
And they maintain them well, too.
Yep, they maintain them well.
Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Passes 8-0. Mr. Hawkins.
Andrew, stay close. We've got an ordinance accepting an appropriating donation funds for the Parks and Recreation Department, and the ordinance to be read is ordinance 02473.
73.
Yeah, so this goes to the Century Trail over at Laurel. First Security has been doing that for the last couple of years. We purchased some Century Trail instruments for them, and then they refunded our check. So we're just looking to take this and put it back in our grounds maintenance budget.
Make a motion for the approval of the ordinance 02473. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 02473. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Ms. Mill?
Aye.
Mr. Grimes?
Aye.
Mr. Hawks?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
That passes 8-0. Thank you, Andrew. And our last new business is a resolution certifying local government endorsement of Project Westwood to participate in the tax back program. And I think Corey Parks is here to talk about that. Mr. Parks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I'm trying to remember, the last time we talked about this project would have been December of last year. And so I know there's at least one new face on the council. And so just to add some additional context to this project. So what we would like to have you all do is continue your previous support of a pro-business community. And so without your leadership, this wouldn't be possible. And so what you would be doing is authorizing a company to receive an incentive that the state has offered them through the state sales tax back program to bring the former Spirit Homes facility back online. And so that would be great. Great win for the community because that's been vacant for an extended period of time. And so what this company is aiming to do is provide manufacturing job opportunities in the amount of 253 is the current commitment over a 3-year period of time. The average wage for those jobs is going to be $26.71 per hour. So quality jobs in addition to having a good amount in a currently vacant facility. And so happy to answer any questions pending hopefully an affirmative vote to support this project. I have press releases available for any media that may be in the audience, and then it's scheduled to go out later tonight. But I think what I've been impressed with the most in the 14 some odd months that we've had the privilege to work with this company is that they're pretty conservative and they don't want to assume anything. And so what we oftentimes will see is that a company announces that they're coming to the community and we kind of handle the administrative stuff on the back end. But they wanted to make sure that you all, in addition to the inducement resolution that you passed in December of last year that for Project Westwood, that you all had the opportunity to review the project in its totality now that it's real. And so would appreciate you all supporting this by voting in the affirmative, but completely understand if we need to do some additional homework. So any questions you may have?
Do we have a closing date set?
So they, and this is where I'll somewhat spill the beans just because it's necessary for the resolution that you all have. So Cavalier Homes has been acquired. So Spirit Homes, I believe, was acquired by Cavalier Homes, and then since then there's been maybe five different ownerships of that real estate. And so Clayton Home Building Group is committed to operating this facility under doing business as Cavalier Homes Incorporated, which is what would need to be included in the resolution. And so it's quality company that has control of the real estate, but really was looking at 3 other markets to figure out where to invest. And so pro-business climate, workforce, the communities, and you'll see this in the press release, hopefully. But the community's willingness to prioritize housing and equitable circumstances was really something that differentiated us for the company. And so I think across the board, there's someone that has tried to be respectful and has prioritized the community's assets beyond just what you see on a spreadsheet. Does that answer your question? Maybe? Got a little long-winded. I'm sorry, Andy.
Got a little long-winded, but you never did tell me when the closing date was.
So
That was the question.
okay, so there's not really a closing date because they own the real estate. It's just a matter of them investing. But probably a better question that you want me to answer but didn't ask is when they are starting hiring folks. And so that will happen again, assuming that this goes how we would hope it would. Is December 1st. They're going to have their first hire, and that's going to be more of the leadership. And then starting probably Q2 of next year, probably April, they'll start hiring the bulk of their folks, and then probably year 1 they'll have 100 or so. But they're fully expecting to be operational in summer of 2025. And so there's not really a closing date on the property. It's more so just getting aligned with the necessary city folks and the necessary utility partners to get this thing moving along.
To keep us from dancing around here, I'll move for adoption of the resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution. Corey, thank you to the Chamber for all the hard work y'all done. Council, thank you for all the things that we brought to Conway, because you can't make people move to a city that they don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And that has played a part in this company located in Conway. So hats off to everybody that's worked on this. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and it wouldn't be possible without y'all, genuinely. And I'll dance with you anytime, Andy.
Hey,
Thanks,
Corey,
Corey.
just
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
I
question.
wanna see that.
Everything on the resolution references Project Westwood. You had mentioned something about Cavalier.
Yes,
does-
so any reference to Project Westwood would need to be replaced with Cavalier Homes Incorporated. And that's just to hopefully avoid you all having to have me in front of you any more than what you want, because the state will have to track this throughout their processes through state government.
Okay. Since Andy has made the motion, I'll make a second with the replacement of Cavalier Homes. I'm assuming where it references Project Westwood.
Correct.
Second.
Have a motion and seconds to pass a resolution certifying local government endorsement of Project Cavalier to participate in the tax back program. Any further discussion?
And Mayor, I apologize if I'm violating
No,
Robert's
you're
Rule of Order, but just for documentation purposes, it would need to say Cavalier Homes Incorporated.
Okay.
The endorsement of Cavalier Homes Incorporated
Yes,
Spell
sir.
out.
Yes. I don't know.
See.
to
I-
participate in the tax.
Everything
back
that I have
program.
says INC period. So
Mhm.
I'll defer to the attorney in the room on what that looks like.
How to spell Cavalier?
No.
Should we first amend the ordinance to change it to Cavalier and then
Well,
vote
there's
on
a
the
motion and a
ordinance
What I
second to
did.
amend,
Yeah.
so the council would vote on that as a
Mhm.
subsidiary
First, we'll need to
motion.
vote for it.
Assuming
Okay.
that passed, then it would go back to the main motion, which
Mhm.
I believe was made by Mr. Hall.
Yes.
I hope you're happy, Corey. You've made this hard now.
You know,
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to amend the naming this the Cavalier Homes Incorporated. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett?
All in favor, say
Aye.
All opposed.
That passes 8-0. And then we had a motion and a second to pass this resolution. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
Resolution R-2458. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
That passes 8-0. Council, that's all I have tonight. Appreciate it. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. We're adjourned.
I know.